Well, everyone, Disney once again nails it. Feast your eyes on this fantastic live action of a beloved cult classic, Peter Pan and Wendy. There is no doubt in my mind that the addition of Wendy in the title will be revered as Disney being truly stunning and brave that sends chills down my spine. Nothing speaks louder of a strong and independent female character like Wendy to get upset that her siblings told the truth to their parents that she is responsible for breaking a piece of furniture in the house. The old Wendy, being the role model mature elder sister, would have taken ownership of the incident for John and Michael, regardless of who is at fault. A truly pathetic and weak-minded excuse of a character, unlike this new Wendy that does not hold accountability. Indeed, an admirable character for the modern audience. You have to salute the introduction of Peter Pan in this show, where he places his dagger near Michael's throat, because pointing a lethal weapon to innocent infants is part of the makings of a lovable protagonist. Not to be outdone, the first remark of Wendy to Peter when they first meet is she expected him to be smaller than he appeared. God forbid, having strong male characters in your show is a recipe for disaster in 2023. It is incredibly terrible, so much so that when Peter Pan did not know what a kiss is, the new strong and independent Wendy hands him a random piece of junk when her brother John did not want to kiss him for demonstration. I can't help but sing praises for this change in the story, as strong women do not admire men, when in fact it should be the other way around. The old Wendy wanted to actually kiss Peter Pan, which is an indication of the inferiority of women. Women are supposed to be the ones being courted, you know? The saying goes that in order to set your show a cut above the rest, is to blatantly copy writing techniques done previously, such as the introduction of Captain Hook in this release, where he murders one of his crew for speaking Peter Pan's name. A scene that left me breathless, as it is clearly a superior approach from the premonition of Voldemort in the Harry Potter franchise.
Never say his name.
And who owned that wand?
We do not speak his name.
Of course, it is not a Peter Pan film without the Lost Boys. How can anyone forget the signature line that was presented in the trailer that took the world by storm?
Which means you must all be
Lost boys.
Every last one of us.
But you're not all boys.
So?
So powerful was this line that this was the only script for this character that I believe is award-worthy. I can't seem to understand why many are taking issue with having girls in the Lost Boys. Amazon's The Boys have strong female characters in them, and absolutely nobody is complaining. In fact, everyone should be upset why franchises such as Charlie's Angels have no boys in the team. I mean, the word angel is such a gender-fluid word, and yet there are no males in the group, which is blatant sexism. Then again, we have to remember that in today's film industry, males are the inferior gender, and nothing speaks louder of male inferiority than the subordinates of Captain Hook becoming bewildered with Michael's teddy bear.
Hey, so fine, man. You got there. Just kill that yourself.
Don't you touch Mr. Pan!
We are truly blessed to have shows such as this that properly depict how savage and unintelligent men are in this modern age. I was at a loss for words when Captain Hook asked, "What's a Wendy?" And her response was,
What's a Wendy?
I'm a Wendy. Wendy Moira Angela Darling.
That scene was truly a sight to behold, as the animated film did not even let Wendy finish stating her whole name, which again demonstrates the strong and independent Wendy that is now present in this show. So powerful was this moment in the film that I believe the show should have been called Peter Pan and
Wendy Moira Angela Darling.
How could I ever forget the part where Wendy berates Peter Pan that it is Tinkerbell that permits him to fly, and that the Lost Boys and Tiger Lily are the ones doing his bidding. Indeed, the time of Peter Pan has long passed, and it is now the time for the strong and independent women to take the mantle. Speaking of Tiger Lily, my jaw dropped to the floor when I found out that she was no longer the damsel in distress as she was in the animated film. I was cheering and screaming at the edge of my seat when she managed to take down several pirates on her own, because who doesn't love a battle-hardened female warrior from the get-go? Who the hell needs a hero's journey when you can have a badass female character right at the start? People demand too much from shows nowadays. I mean, come on. We all know that Peter Pan is an irrelevant relic of the past. He is so incompetent that he allows Captain Hook to take him out even though he clearly could have fought back or flew out of the way. But no, he chooses to die instead, which goes to show how inferior males truly are compared to females. Obviously, Wendy and Tiger Lily do not need any character development because everybody knows they are already badasses from the start. So it is up to them to carry the team and put a stop to Captain Hook and the evil male pirate crew. Speaking of Captain Hook, did you know that he was actually the victim of this show? Yes, you heard that right. Captain Hook is actually misunderstood. And it was because of the evil Peter Pan that he never got to see his mother again. Because you see, Captain Hook was the first lost boy, and that Peter Pan exiled him when he wanted to leave Neverland, as he misses his mother, which unfortunately resulted in him never finding her. This truly shook me to the core, as the motive of Peter Pan all throughout the show was that he never wanted things to change and to never grow up. So who picks up the slack? Obviously, the very superior and who can do no wrong, Wendy. Because of her sheer awesomeness as a strong and independent woman, manages to subdue Captain Hook and the pirates with no training needed. Because that's just how awesome she is. Tiger Lily, on the other hand, manages to bring back Peter Pan with no training needed. Because that's just how awesome she is. I have been singing praises of this legendary show for far too long now, and it is probably time to wrap things up. So in conclusion, after the defeat of Captain Hook and his crew, Peter Pan returns the darling siblings to their home, along with the entirety of the Lost Boys, so that they can finally grow up. But does Peter Pan himself stay? Of course not. How could we forget that Peter Pan is a male, and therefore inferior, and never grew or learns from his mistakes? So he simply returns to Neverland to pick up Captain Hook, who is stranded by the sea. Truly, Disney has created a masterpiece. Universal Studios better savor the moment with the Mario movie, because Peter Pan and
Wendy, Moira, Angela, darling.
will take the world by storm. My ass.